Linked events is the other. The TRE system has the ability, based on cut ID, to automatically link a data message to a specific piece of audio, and that's what we call linked events. For example, you can link a web address or a phone number to the commercial for that advertiser, but you don't have to just link to commercials. You could link, for example, to a news or weather if you had a sponsor. So the sponsorship of the news or weather could display on the receiver, and it could say the news brought to you by so-and-so or whatever. And you don't have to stop with news or weather. You can really link to any piece of audio in the automation system, so you could even link to a song. If the new Justin Bieber album is out and you're playing the new Justin Bieber single and Stick It in Your Ear has got it for sale down the street, you could put up an ad every time you play Justin Bieber for people to stop by, stick it in your ear, and pick up the album. Now, the reason this doesn't seem like spam to the listener is because it's additional information to the audio commercial that they're already hearing. So it's not like you're throwing, new advertisements at them. They're already hearing the advertisement, and this is just an enhancement or additional information to that. So they don't look at it and they don't see, oh, here's more spam on my radio. It's more of a service for what they're actually hearing on the audio. So it doesn't feel as spammy. So if you can stick to linked events and you can stick to high-impact ads, you can really maximize the use of your data displays and not create a lot of listener fatigue or the sense that you're putting a lot of advertising or a lot of spam in their face. So those are the two types of messages for sales, but we also have a complete suite of tools that the sales staff can use to enter these messages as well. And what you're looking at now would be an entry screen for the example that I used of a high-impact ad. So there are a couple additional fields in here that we didn't see in the programmer section, and you can see those fields in here. And if you go down to the web section, there's a web text field, a web graphic field, a web URL field, and even a mobile field. These fields actually get fed out to the TRE's XML. So TRE will upload an XML file anytime an event changes that contains the contents of that event. So, for example, while you're playing a particular commercial on the audio, on the air, you could be displaying that graphic to match that on the website. Or maybe you could show a promo code that somebody could text and they could get more information on that ad. You could show that on your website or whatever you want to use to parse out this XML. A lot of stations are using this XML to feed billboard displays. So if somebody's driving down the street and they're hearing the commercial or whatever on the radio, the billboard would actually match what they're hearing on the radio. Some other fields you're going to see in there that you didn't see before in the programming tool are the campaign details. There's a maximum run time, there's a currently active checkbox, and there's a deactivated reason field down there as well. The maximum number of run times is pretty obvious. If the advertiser says, here, I want to run this data ad, but I only want it to display 2,000 times, TRE will actually run it 2,000 times, and when it's hit 2,000, it will deactivate it automatically for you. And then you can actually specify or fine-tune some campaign details down there as well. So you can set the flight date to the campaign. If you only want the ad to run on a particular day of the week or at a particular time, you can set that up as well. Here's another window for sales. This is where you would enter the linked event type messages that we spoke about earlier. And you can see on that first section there at the top, about 5 down, there's a linked event ID. In this case, it's 0007. That would actually be the cut ID of the audio commercial for Geico in the automation system. So whenever that audio commercial played, the data message would be displayed as well. Now, this is really set up, we've been talking about sales using this, but programming can use these tools as well if they want to link, let's say, a text message to a station promo. Or if they want to link, let's say you've got Justin Bieber's actually coming to town and you want to promote the concert every time you play a Justin Bieber song, you could link these messages to the Justin Bieber cut IDs. So those are linked events, and when you start really selling this, it's going to come up rather quickly. How do we do proof of performance? How do we prove to our advertisers that we actually ran these messages that they requested from us? Well, there are really 2 ways you can do that. The first is the real easy one, and that's simply with an as-run log that comes out of the software. And in most cases, that's all the advertisers really want to see, and that makes them happy. But that's not really 100% certain what made it out on the air. I mean, it's the difference between giving the ASCAP and BMI your playlist from Audio Vault and actually giving them a recording of what happened on the air. So most advertisers, like I said, are fine with that. They're happy with that, but it's really not 100% guarantee that that went out over the air. You know, if the radio experience software was disconnected from your exporter or your RDS or whatever, of course that data message was sent, but it didn't end up anywhere. So you can actually get an RDS off your monitor, you can plug that into a PC, and you can actually log this information off air. But most advertisers that are doing RDS today are not requiring that kind of logging. But it is an option, and in the future it may be something they want to see. Here's some more tools for sales. We talked about setting up the high-impact ads and the ad flights. This is an overview that the sales folks can look at, and they can actually see the flight names. They can see how many times they've run. And you can also, if you look all the way over there to the right, here's where you can actually download the log of every time those messages ran. And you can see here's an example of that log. It's downloaded as a comma value separated sheet, so you can easily import it into Excel or your favorite spreadsheet program and peruse through that and sort that information however you want. That's not the only way to get logs out of the system. That's the one way to get logs specific to the advertiser, but the TRE software also produces an as-run log locally that can be saved or FTP'd anywhere you desire. And the benefit of that is you could set up, if you were in an enterprise situation where you had several stations that were running the same ad, you could set up the as-run logs to all be FTP'd to a central location at the end of the day, so one person could go through and verify that all those ads ran or use them for reporting or whatever you need to do. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is all great. There's a lot of really cool tools here for sales, but how do we actually sell this stuff? How do we convince our advertisers that this is of value to them? Well, the good news is it's being done. So as more stations do it, more advertisers get used to it. But one easy thing to do, and I'll tell you it's tough to go in front of a lot of local advertisers, and number one, try to explain to them that you can put text on the radio. And then on top of that, you've got to explain to them, well, there's this thing called DPS, and it's only 8 characters at a time, so you really want to try to keep all your words short or under 8 characters. So it's a lot to convey to them. So the best thing to do is get your sales team to take out portable radios. And there's a lot of portable RDS and even now HD receivers out there. There's the HD Zune that you could take out in front of customers. There's the new Insignia portable radio from Best Buy that's HD. As far as RDS goes, the Nano, the last 2 generations of the Nano have RDS on them. So you can get fairly inexpensively these portable radios and arm your sales staff with them and actually take them out in front of the clients and expose your current clients to the possibilities of broadcasting data messages out along with their audio messages. The good news is car dealers get it, right? They've been selling cars with RDS and HD in it for a while now. They know how it works, and they understand it, and they're probably a pretty big advertiser on the station already. So generally, if you're a new station looking to get into, or your station looking to get into data casting advertising for the first time, that's generally the easiest place to go is to the car dealers because they understand it. Next to the car dealers would be your national advertisers. A lot of national advertisers are already making use of RDS and HD in other markets, so they're already familiar with it in a lot of cases, so you can easily go to them and expose them to it. And then the good news is, right, as long as you've got some advertisers going out on RDS and HD, the rest of your clients, the rest of your advertisers are going to start to notice that, and they're going to start to understand it, and eventually your market is going to warm up to it and understand that. And one additional thing, remember we saw in the message entry screen a few slides back where when you created a DPS message, you could actually craft the message there in the interface and see how it would get displayed. Well, that tool is available as part of Message Manager 2 for you to take out on location. Your salespeople can download this to their local, to their laptop, and they can take it out in front of a client, and they can sit down in front of the client and create the message with the client and actually show them what it's going to look like and show them what RDS and HD really is. So that's one of the benefits of Message Manager is that tool is actually downloadable and you can, it's portable. You can take it out in front of the client without any internet access. You don't need internet access to download that and use it. Let's move on to some of the enterprise tools that are available within Message Manager. Now, outside of the actual Message Manager interface, there's a whole system that allows you to kind of track and see what's going on your stations on really 3 different levels. There's a group level, and that's what we're looking at now, so you can see the entire Beasley group. You can see all of their markets here and the indication. This is not live, by the way, but you can see indicators there as to whether or not that RDS and HD information, the datacasting information, is going out. That's what those green and red indicators mean. Next to the group level tools, there's market level tools. So now if we drill down into the Augusta market, we can see 2 stations and we can see what's happening on those stations. And then there's the station level. So you can actually pick a station and you can see what's going on that particular station, and this is where you can go into the message center for that particular station. There are different levels of logins for these. So if you are let's say you're in charge of the entire group, you can log in at the group level and you can access any station, any market in the group. If you are, let's say you're a market promotions person or a market level engineer, you can log into that market and access the information on any station in that market. If you are a single station PD or a single station promotions person, you can only have access to that station, and you can log in and see everything that's going on that station. And any login, you have access at any level login to create logins for those underneath you. So if you are a group level user, you can create market level users and station level users. If you're a market level user, you can create station level users and so on. So you've really got a lot of flexibility. If you want to let just a couple people at the station set up these messages and control them, that's fine. If you want to let anybody at the station set them up, you can do that as well. So a lot of different